Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Experts express confidence in Canada's readiness for an Ebola outbreak, pointing to the nation's well-established public health infrastructure and advanced laboratories, such as the National Microbiology Laboratory, which pioneered an Ebola vaccine. While current outbreaks in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda are caused by the Bundibugyo strain, for which specific vaccines and therapeutics are still under development, the Zaire strain treatments and preparedness measures are robust. Dr. Isaac Bogog, an infectious diseases specialist in Mian Thumath, a public health expert, emphasized that while direct cases in Canada are rare, global containment is paramount to prevent increased risk. The article highlights that symptoms of Ebola, such as fever, fatigue, and muscle pain, can be similar to other illnesses, making diagnostic testing crucial. The primary mode of transmission is through bodily fluids, affecting those providing direct care or healthcare workers without adequate protective equipment. Global News reported that the Canadian health system is equipped to manage potential cases, underscoring the importance of international cooperation in disease control. Prime Minister Mark Carney issued a metaphorical plea for unity amidst Alberta's plans for a separation referendum, stating that Canada is working and it's time to build up the country together. While on a tour of Parliament, Carney highlighted cooperative federalism and his government's economic agenda, including an energy agreement and infrastructure development, as ways to improve the nation with Alberta at its core. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, however, announced a question for an October 19th referendum, asking citizens if the province should hold a future binding vote on separation rather than directly on separation itself. This approach has drawn criticism from separatist leaders who deemed it cowardly and spineless. Smith's chief of staff, Rob Anderson, defended the move, citing ongoing court appeals over a previous petition. Political scientist Lori Williams noted the referendum question is unlikely to satisfy hardliners and is having the opposite effect of settling the issue. Despite the controversy, Premier Smith stated she would vote for Alberta to remain in Confederation. This report is from the Canadian Press. An Australian federal court judge, Michael Wheelahan, has ordered X Corp to pay a fine of 650,000 Australian dollars, approximately 465,000 USD, plus a weighty $100,000, 71,000 USD in court costs to the e-safety commissioner. This ruling, reported by NBC News, concludes a 3-year legal dispute stemming from X's failure to provide crucial information to Australia's online safety watchdog in 2023. The information requested concerned how the Texas-based social media platform was addressing child sexual exploitation content on its services. X, which merged with Twitter Inc. in March 2023, admitted to contravening Australia's Online Safety Act by not submitting a fully comprehensive report in response to a transparency notice issued on February 2023. X's lawyer noted that the period of contravention occurred during a period of change and transition for the company, referring to Elon Musk's takeover. Both parties agreed the fine was appropriate, with e-safety commissioner Julie Inman Grant stating that transparency is vital for holding technology companies accountable in tackling severe online content. A previous ruling in July last year upheld a judge's decision in October 2024. Radio Canada International reports that Canadians should expect to pay more for beef this summer grilling season due to record-high prices. Since 2021, beef costs have surged by 62.6% and increased 12.5% in the last year, peaking at 17.7% in November 2025. These increases are primarily attributed to severe drought conditions in Canada, the United States, and Mexico starting in 2021. which forced ranchers to shrink their cattle herds to a 40-year low. Rising production expenses, such as a 50 to 60% hike in diesel fuel for spring seeding and cattle feed, further compound the issue. Despite these challenges, consumer demand for beef remains strong. Although the Canadian cattle herd recorded its first increase since 2018, growing by 2.5% this year, and calf prices have dramatically risen, any price relief at grocery stores is not expected for another 2 to 3 years as animals move through the system. Ranchers also face ongoing concerns about dry prairie conditions, and some are liquidating herds to retire. Supply remains tight, leading to imports, and prices are anticipated to stay stable at current high levels for the latter half of the year. Canada's Chief Public Health Officer, Dr. Jos Reimer, is scheduled to provide a crucial update today on 2 significant virus outbreaks that have put Canadian officials on alert. The briefing will cover the latest developments regarding a Hantavirus case involving a Canadian who recently disembarked a cruise ship where an outbreak occurred. Dr. Reimer will also address the government's response to a rare and rapidly spreading type of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. Officials from Global Affairs Canada and the Canada Border Services Agency will join her. The World Health Organization Director General has raised the risk assessment for Ebola to very high at national and regional levels, while noting the global risk remains low, with nearly 750 suspected cases and 177 suspected deaths reported. In related news, Ontario's Ministry of Health had been testing a return traveler for Ebola out of an abundance of caution, with results expected today. On the Hantavirus front, provincial health officials reported that the condition of a Yukon resident hospitalized in British Columbia remains stable. This news comes from City News Everywhere. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.